Are you live yet? There we go. All right. And do you have it set to emote only chat apparently? Ah, okay. I've been helping a couple up and coming or starting streamers, so
See, it's
every little thing that's
unrealistic.
not
The
on
guys, the people that died weren't wearing red shirts. I'm not convinced.
my favorite number one.
It's a cute dog. People stealing his grapes?
Yeah. I bet you they're doing good while the show's
I've been
going.
told it isn't very good wine.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ed. It's a bring your own Picard.
Well, at this moment, I see just mom on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, right. So you should at least put a big doodle with a doodle with what is going on, because at this moment it's just mom. Nothing happens. We sure. That's reasonable, understandable. Yeah.
Okay, folks, there we go. Thank you, Pi. My mic was off.
Yeah, that's one thing I can't catch because I don't like the echo.
I gotta turn on the
I like that the
subtitles.
Romulans are back. I thought they were good characters.
What happened to Jaban?
I'm going to guess he's died in the intervening 2 years since that last series.
No, I just hear mom.
Hang on.
Oh, okay. Watching things.
Yeah. So this is spoiler time. So Pi and Ed, since you can't watch it until tomorrow, or sorry, Friday. Do you want us to give you spoilers?
I would prefer not.
Okay, then we
Um,
won't give you running. We'll make comments, but we won't say what's going on. That's significant.
one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I just bail out for now.
Okay.
So enjoy and have your chat uncensored, and we will meet in 3 hours from now.
Sounds good, Ed. It's good. So good to hear your voice.
Yeah, I just saw. Oh, Dark Mom is on. Early birds. So have a good time, guys, and I will be back.
Okay.
Ta-da!
Bye. Hi, Wolfie.
Wolfie's not allowed to be here. He's banished. Why is my Skype active?
Hmm. That was an interesting turn. Why is this room familiar? Was this in some sequence last year?
Not that I can remember.
Is that supposed to be his mother?
Think so.
Why does she have an English accent?
Ooh.
What the? I'm at 12:18. Mar Hawkman. Okay, that's kind of a lot that they're throwing at us. I wonder where they're going to go with it.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, my Discord prompt disappeared.
I'm just getting in to say hi.
Oh, hi. It's good to see you. That was weird.
Good morning, Mr. High Score.
Mr. High School. There we go.
Well, that's my updates to him now when he sends in stuff. Still got the high score. New points is this.
Hey, Von Marcus, let us know when you get to a commercial.
We'll do. Looks like the first one's at about 20:33-ish.
Okay.
I'm gonna go watch the show.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all watching it. We're just watching it and trying not to give spoilers and chatting, so feel free to watch and join us.
Yeah. Reactions without spoilers is a little challenging.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
I'm-
what are they doing?
Things and stuff.
I'm gonna pop up to my room.
Okay. Well, that's That's kind of sucky. Alpha, it's good to see you here. Take care. Be safe. Lexers, we are all watching Picard on our own and then sharing commentary without giving spoilers away. We hope. Ooh! Hey, cool. Engage. Sorry.
I think that's what she said in the last scene.
Yeah, so true, Marhawkman. Kazon? No. Just generic bad guys. Do not drop that. That's a nice touch. Ooh. Ouch.
Oof.
Well, that looks
I still
cool.
think Hawking radiation is a myth.
Okay, are we at a break here, then, Marcus?
Yep.
Okay. So everybody take a moment here to chill if you need to refresh on fluids or popcorn.
Estimate about 90 seconds.
Okay. Just let us know when you're ready to go.
Will do.
So we're taking a quick commercial break since Mar Hockman's watching this not commercial free, anti-commercial free, commercial positive.
You mean Marcus?
What did I say?
Mar Hockman.
Mar Hockman. Sorry, well, maybe Mar Hockman is too. Von Marcus. Hey, I've only had half a cup of coffee and 5 hours of sleep, so I will
5 hours.
Yeah.
But
I've had more than
sleep than I
you.
have.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to go out to class last night and get home from class just in time for this, and I'm walking out the door, and I shouted up to the last two engineers because they were getting ready to leave that I'd locked the front door, which is when we discovered that the front door locks had been broken, and because they've been working on it in the building all day, and they broke it. So anyway, 2 hours later, I'm still in the office waiting for the repair dudes to get back to fix the locks. Get home, and the power's out. That's one of those, no, come on. So found some people who hadn't gotten dinner, and we drove out to a section of town that had power. So I was going to be either exhausted or well rested, and neither happened.
That's just the way it always is, though.
Yeah. Okay, we're all ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Let's
All right, 2036, ready to hit play.
play. Are these?
She does. It is Delton's. That's what I thought. So, what's her name isn't going to be around for this, or what?
It's weird seeing him in a uniform.
Yeah.
And without a cigar. There's a cigar.
Nice.
Oh, nice ship name.
Oh,
It's a very interesting thing for a ship. Design, anyway.
Yeah, little old school.
do you think that'll be an R&D box or a lockbox? Yeah, his ass is gonna get kicked off, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him fight. That's not going to be an issue. Oh, crap. Can we put this on pause for 1 sec? Okay. Alpha Tango had sent me a message earlier, and I just tracked it down here. This is from Stowe 30 minutes ago. The countdown is over, and the truth can be revealed. 4 starships from Star Trek Online will be appearing on the season premiere of Star Trek Picard. They are the Gagarin, the Intrepid, hang on a second, the Reliant, excuse me, Gagarin, Reliant, the Ross, and the Sutherland.
Okay.
So for those of
Exactly.
you who are messaging what's, if there's going to be any Stowe content in the series, yeah, apparently there is. Okay, shall we get back to this?
Sure. I'm at 28:36. Is everybody roughly close there?
Okay, me too.
Okay.
Well, that's interesting.
Interesting. Commercial?
Yep.
Okay, commercial break.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. Wow. Wow, now
I'm
we
at
get to the point.
30:59. So just tell me when to start again.
Through the episode. Yeah.
It's like a 90-second commercial break here. Well, okay, so we spent half an hour getting all the backstories done, taken out of here, and we don't have to deal with them for a little bit. Now we're going on to the story moving forward. Interesting.
All right. This break's a little longer. I got about 75 seconds left.
No worries. The joy of having it as on demand, we can break whenever we need to. So that's cool. Star Trek Online ships are canon. Yay!
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 And that opens the door.
Yeah. Yes,
That opens
it
the door to
does.
making other stuff canon.
Yeah. So
Well,
it's kind of
CBS owns STO. I mean, of course, it's canon.
CBS does not own STO, but they do license it. But it's this circle going around. So Star Trek, everything from Star Trek Online is based on Star Trek. Now things in Star Trek are from Star Trek Online. So it's the circle of life. Star Trek version. I'll take it.
All right, 20 seconds left.
Just let us know when you're ready to go back.
Will do.
What do you mean it doesn't move the soul? Hawkman, it moves my soul.
Well, not.
Yeah.
It doesn't move the soul. Not that attitude.
Now with that attitude, it doesn't.
Okay.
Okay, everybody.
At 30 even.
30 even. Everybody ready?
Yep.
On my mark. 3, 2, 1. Engage. Do they have a thing with making lapels uneven? It's driving me crazy.
And an odd number of them, too.
Yeah. I'll put one here. I won't put one there. I'll make this one high and that one low. I'll make this one wide and that one narrow.
Polish to the heart of it.
Mm-hmm. Woohoo! Wow. Hi, Drysander. And welcome all 69 of you. We are watching Picard, but we're watching it privately because we can't stream it. So if you would like to join us, jump into Picard and chat along with us or put your comments up here. Hey, Inverted Paradox, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you, Adion Windu. So we are at about minute 35:19. If you'd like to join in, if you haven't started watching already, feel free to make your comments. If you want to join us in Discord, absolutely. So is this going to be a subplot, do you think? A major subplot, or is this just going to be a peripheral thing on the sides here? No, we're not spoiling it. We're commenting on, but we will not be spoiling.
Being very careful.
Mm-hmm. We'll just tell you that one, there's 4 Star Trek Online ships that are now in the series. Yay. And Romulan ale still comes in cool looking bottles.
Because that's not ominous.
Tesla Max, thank you so much for the follow. Oh no, DT's going to have to get another badge now.
Another badge?
He-
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I take it he collects them?
Yes. Conventions are filled with, oh, they've got this badge from this series with this thing, with that thing, and okay.
Does he have them all on like a wharf-like bandolier?
I don't think so. DT, if you're still listening, that's a good thought for you. Hey, Goofball01, thank you for the follow. I think this would just be so interesting for a romance. But no.
Hello.
Hello.
Howdy, howdy.
How are you doing?
I've had better nights.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
You watching along with us?
I can't until Saturday.
Um, Hit me up sometime tomorrow. I can Discord it for you if you want to catch it sooner.
How are you doing, Duffy?
Well, my dad just went to the hospital by ambulance. So
I know.
Ooh.
I saw that. Is he okay?
Don't know.
Okay.
Sounds like a stroke.
Oh. Let us know what we can do, if anything.
Mm.
I'm not sure what I'm gonna do.
Ooh,
Oh.
that looks cool.
Is anybody else watching with subtitles?
No, no.
Oh.
That?
Yeah, the streaming service I have for Star Trek doesn't update Saturday.
Ooh.
Okay, for those who didn't have subtitles, also it's a commercial message.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Commercial time. Ever done take a break?
For those who don't have subtitles, that voice this time around had the designation Legion.
Ooh.
So
Sweet. Whoa. This
Legion?
Legion.
yeah.
Wow.
All right, this looks like to be a short one, so about 60 seconds left.
Okay.
You have to give me a timestamp that you're going on.
We're gonna.
I will.
It looks like about 42 will be when we restart.
Timestamp is right now.
You just
it's
missed it.
it's always right now.
When will then be now? Soon.
That's deep. God, does this mean we're gonna have to do this every week at 3 in the morning?
Oh.
10 weeks of getting up at 3 in the morning to do this
You're
is gonna
just
be
doing
fun.
it now because you're all crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it is the premiere.
This is true. We can probably push it off till Fridays and do a watch party with the European guys too. So we'll have to time that out.
I'm gonna watch the new episode of Discovery after this too.
Ooh. Well,
I'm already up.
I have not been following Discovery. I really should watch season 3 just because Noel's in it.
All right, I'm at 42 even.
Okay, everybody ready? Start.
I'll pretend to be ready.
Okay. Whoa.
Yeah, Chicago Fire was on tonight.
Well, that's how we get everybody back into the same, scenario.
I just realized. Paramedics didn't take my phone number down. The hospital.
Neither am I, honestly.
Did that before.
What do you call two ravens sitting on a park bench? Attempted murder.
But we've heard this before.
Oh, right, you guys are watching.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a level of dialogue that we're not sharing with everybody because we don't want to get banned from Twitch or Discord
Sorry.
or anything else.
No, one scene was spoiled already.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that's cool.
I will leave you guys to your watch party. I'm gonna see if I can go get some sleep.
Okay. Let us know if
Bye.
we can do anything for you.
Yeah, I'm still gonna figure out my end.
Yeah, I'm sure. Sure. Take care.
Catch you guys later.
Yeah, I'm going to say that shield's not going to hold that long.
He calls that one jumpy character. I love it.
Do they just have the phasers sitting around like that?
I'm gonna guess that was a tactical area of the ship.
One would hope. Ooh. Old Doc Ock there. Boy, they listen to their captain well, don't they?
I mean, it is the Borg.
News. Wow.
Yeah, that's a different uniform.
Yet another badge.
Good point. Good point. It's Dune, Picard.
Is that another badge?
Oh, God, yes.
What, 3 now you gotta tell so-and-so about?
Really? Doesn't it? It looks like him back in the days of Gurney Halleck. Ooh.
Oh, I like that one.
Oh. Ooh. That's interesting.
Wow.
Ooh.
Whoa.
I don't want to watch 1883.
I got chills.
Yeah, it keeps jumping me to 1883 too. Oh boy.
That was cool.
That was a lot to take in.
Yeah, there's a lot that they're dumping on us for intro. Hang
Mhm.
on a second. I want to zip through something here. Let's see. I was wondering if there's any credits to the ship guys. Nope, I didn't see anything. There should be.
I'm gonna have to watch this again because I didn't spot the 4 ships that they said were gonna be
Well,
in there.
they didn't say it was necessarily in this episode. They said that they would be
Okay, it was gonna be in this season. Okay.
canon in this season. Yeah. I mean, there's so many ships there in that really quick moment when everything's popping in that you can't really
Yeah,
tell.
that's one of the reasons I'm gonna have to rewatch it so I can
Yeah.
pause whenever.
Well, what'd you
Wow.
guys think? Without doing spoilers for those of you out there, if you're out there and you want to jump into Discord and join us for a little chat, cool. If you just want to type in comments here.
Um, My biggest thing is that was a very bold ending to the pilot of this season.
Yeah.
Without spoilers, like that was a very bold ending.
Oh, I mean, well, they spend the entire hour giving some of the background story of where they're going to go with, and I don't know, think this would be spoiler, but Picard trying to figure out what he's doing in terms of personal development, which we always talk about. And they're right, he never does any personal development on a big scale. It's always, doing things related to saving the galaxy and the ship and all that stuff.
Focused. He's an outwardly focused person.
He is, yes, exactly.
That's
Outwardly
my
focused.
problem. I'm trying to change that. That's my problem.
Yeah. Well, it's always what do you do next? Where are you going to go from here? And that's very much the way his character is driven. And I think a lot of us are doing the same thing. It's, what's next? As opposed to figuring out where we're at and where we are as individuals. So really interesting there.
And I've been working on it. That's why I haven't been streaming lately. I've been cleaning the house and trying to get back to a good spot.
Yeah, I actually have taken the last 5-6 days off of streaming in the evenings for the same reason. Probably won't stream tonight for that reason. And then next week, hopefully getting back into this a little bit more as my life might be calming down a bit. Don't know yet. But also, they spent so much time taking all the characters, establishing how much time has passed since the last series, which is at least a year and a half. And saying what they've done with all the relationships that they established in those last episodes. So interesting.
Now, while this isn't a spoiler because the trailers have teased you and the time change, whatnot, I think I heard her say the change was in 2024.
Yes. Yeah, I know it's 2024.
Which is which I'm really curious to see how they handle it, being that it is so close to our current.
Well, absolutely.
year.
I'm sure they picked 2024 because you know how Star Trek loves to make social commentary, so we put it 2 years out from where they see as being a worst possible consequence of what's going on right now. It's got to have been in their thoughts.
Ooh. Oh, I
Yeah.
can't wait till next week now.
Yeah.
I am glad I binge watched Picard today, though.
To get,
Yeah.
But it's interesting that aside from a few things, a lot of that doesn't seem to be carrying over into this.
Yeah.
I mean, so season 1, if you were to just start watching this right now, there's enough wrap up that you could kind of figure out who people are and how we got to this scene, to this moment in time. But if you hadn't
Very
seen,
vaguely, yeah.
yeah, if you hadn't seen Picard 1, you would just understand that these people have a prior relationship. Big Door 82, thank you so much for the follow. We really appreciate it. So, but they do jam through it. They don't go back in and do a whole ton of exposition of, oh, yes, well, Seven and Raffi had a relationship, but now they're not quite sure where they're going, and blah, 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 blah. And that's not a spoiler if you watch season 1, and that's not a spoiler if you watch season 2. Now, so Guinan was in that one brief scene, which again isn't a spoiler. We all knew that Guinan was going to be in here. Do you think that's going to be an ongoing thing, or was that just the obligatory appearance? Was she listed in the opening credits? We'll put it that way.
I don't know.
Okay.
To be honest, I wasn't watching the credits.
I was watching it a little bit, but we're starting to chat and get everything hooked up.
I would guess that, obviously being the Q's involved, I'm going to hazard a guess that she shows back up in the season.
Yeah, they've always been adversarial.
And also, anytime that Q messes with stuff, or they do temporal stuff in TNG, she's been around somewhere. I mean, that episode where Data got stranded in the Wild West, wasn't she in that episode at some point?
Data in the Wild West. You're not talking about Time Zero, are you?
I don't know the name of it.
The one where he goes back to old San Francisco? And his head
and they find his head.
Yeah, that's Time Zero.
Yeah.
She. That's the Davidian episode too, though, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. It's been so long since I've seen it. It sounds like having a bad memory.
Yeah, I forget the things I've forgotten, so it's easier. It
I
is. Thank
think
you.
I've forgotten more than I've learned, which shouldn't be possible.
Big Door confirms it was time zero, but was Guinan involved in that one is a good question.
I think
can't.
she made an
Times.
appearance
Well, I
in the
mean,
old West, but not a big role.
Guinan was in the episode where Data's head got sent back in time.
Right, yeah, that's time zero.
Guinan was one of the people that they talked to in the past.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where. Hold it. She's meeting Picard for the first time, but he knows her that one where they do.
It's a weird scene where you have a person from the future meeting a past version of someone that they knew, which caused a time paradox where now the other person has an opposite reaction when seeing them for the first time, and blah blah blah.
Yeah. Temporal mechanics is great. Yes, exactly. Big Door. Excuse me, keep.
You left off the other cray. Temporal mechanics is cray.
It is indeed.
Oh wow.
So let's see. Let's go back to. I love that they came back to the beginning of it. I don't want to do any spoilers, but Picard, when I'll just say it this way: when he's smiling in that opening sequence, there, it was just such a look of contentment, and I'm thinking, we finally don't have him being sad and depressed.
But Bubble explodes in 5.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But it was a lovely moment. I don't think that's a spoiler.
One thing I'm kind of wondering about that I don't think we can properly spoil, unless it's just like there was that moment when that one woman said, "Look up."
Mm-hmm.
Look at what?
The first time or the second time? Are you talking about when he's a little boy?
No.
At the end.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's just one of those things. It's like, what is she supposed to be having him look at? That doesn't. I don't.
Yeah, but my thought immediately went to knowing knowing what's about to happen is about to happen. His brain reverts to something from his childhood, and maybe she's not saying that. Maybe he's thinking that, knowing that possibly this is the final moment, and his brain goes back to what his mom said. Yeah. Big Door says, I think the look up was symbolic, so that could be. Yeah. I don't know. Oof. I think that's one of those little ends that will kind of get wrapped back into a later moment in another episode.
Well, I just saw a Facebook post left by Patrick Stewart. It's got some photos of a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff.
Cool.
So if anybody is interested, he just put it out there.
I really
sorry, put it out there 12 hours ago.
Following him on Facebook.
So if anybody wants to check it out, like I said, 12 hours ago I put it out there. So
okay. I don't know if I've even got him on Facebook.
I don't have him on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed in all of you.
I barely use Facebook.
I use it to keep track of family because 90% of my family's on there, so I use it as a condensed email messaging thing. They all know they can reach me on Facebook. That's the main thing I keep up, and I use it for memes.
Yeah, my family likes to use Facebook Messenger, and that's basically the only thing I use it for on a regular basis.
Yeah. My horrible family doesn't know how to block me.
So for family and memes, that's pretty much it.
And I know their passwords, so I can unblock myself if they do.
He's only got 6 million followers. Probably be easy enough to follow him.
He probably won't even notice.
Yeah, there's a lot of images.
I'm guessing his Facebook is by his name, right?
Yeah, it actually is. Just plain old Patrick Stewart.
Well, that's disappointing. I typed in Patrick S. I get Swayze.
There's a whole
Hope,
lot of people in the world
Fields.
named Patrick.
Yes, even with the S.
Anyways, though, I am kind of curious why there's that. There's that moment where they're like flipping through a bunch of images of various places really, really fast, and for some reason, someone has a Cardassian skull on a table.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Why?
Because we had one. We had one, and we're going to put it out there so everybody can see it.
Also, this is Earth. Why Cardassian?
Yeah, I know. Maybe it'll turn around and all tie together?
I suspect that the real purpose of it was showing off that things are not as they should be.
Well, definitely, but then there's every single person who watches Star Trek being oh my God, that's so clever, being totally caught up with the nerdiness and the hey, we saw this. Is that symbolic? No, it's just something we had.
I just thought of two things. One of which is the annoying pedant side of nerdity. The other is a legit question.
Yeah.
Okay, the legit question first. What is the time period that picture was from? Was that 2024 with someone having a Cardassian skull on Earth?
Yeah, that could be interesting.
I'm not sure. Hard to get context when it flipped past so fast.
Yeah.
Then there's the silly nerdity one, is that several of the texture details on the skull are things that are logically part of the Cardassian skin and thus should not be easily visible on the skull. Unless Cardassian foreheads are, let's just say, have a thinner layer of skin than human foreheads do.
Is it that every other Patrick Stewart on Facebook shows up for the Patrick Stewart?
Yeah, you would think the one with the 62 or 6 million followers would be first.
Right.
Actually, now that I think about it, didn't they show in an episode of DS9 that the spoon shape on a Cardassian's forehead is actually soft, like it's just a skin
like a
protrusion?
Skin formation?
Yeah.
Huh. I hadn't noticed that.
I don't think I remember.
It's one of those things where I think they only actually had someone actually touch their forehead while in Cardassian makeup once or twice.
Was it intentional?
I don't remember.
See, that's the thing. If it was something unintentional and they just left it in because they missed it, I mean, that's fuzzy canon.
Yeah. But it's one of those things, is that if you take a close look at the way that the spoon on a Cardassian's forehead is actually shaped, it doesn't make sense to be a bone protrusion because of how delicate it is.
Yeah.
I think that kind of raising could technically be done IRL with very careful scar tissue cultivation.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Especially if you are prone to things like keloids, that would work.
Although, to be honest, the spoon shape on the skull there, we only see it very, very briefly, and it could be that it's that's more flat than you think at first glance.
Yeah, it does look very upraised. Hey, can you guys chat on for a moment? I'm just going to microwave some coffee. Be right back.
So we saw a lot of wide pan shots of various places, which, they went to a lot of work making cities look both
futuristic and lived in.
Yeah, futuristic and lived in, but also, not fully alien. Just
they made it seem like those are the right places and that's the right progression. Like the few cityscapes that I saw, one being Los Angeles, it looked properly accurate and futuristic without it being one or the other.
I mean, I've noted that there have been occasions where some of the designers of things like this went and it's got a photo of the actual cityscape, and then they're like, okay, so we're going to change this, and this.
Well, that's the way to do it.
Because like the terrain layout is probably not going to change dramatically, and thus it's like a like slow evolution of like replace this with that, replace that with this, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. So I think my Paramount Plus has me pegged. My entire thing of recommended for you is Star Trek.
Doesn't do that for me somehow. I don't know why.
Well, it might be that in the last couple of months I've been binge watching Star Trek.
Well, I mean, the only thing I've ever used Paramount Plus to watch is Star Trek, but somehow I don't know.
I think a lot of it's because I've been like doing it consistently.
Hello.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you.
That's a very comfy looking robe, I gotta say.
Oh, my robe, yes. It is decadent.
That's one thing I've been meaning to replace. I haven't had a good robe for a long time.
I want to say this is Land's End. Yeah, this is a Land's End robe. Almost floor length. It's got its own little hoodie. So I can hide.
I've seen those in magazines, and they look, really, really cushy.
Okay, this is so comfortable that I've actually driven to and from Chicago wearing my pajamas in this bathrobe.
I believe it. Does anyone still have Paramount Plus up?
I can pull it up. Why?
I mean, I closed mine.
Under horror movies, I just noticed the movie's called Alien Invasion Someone, and the face on it looks like the Mars synthetics.
Oh.
Like I saw it, I'm like, wait a minute.
Okay, so without doing spoilers, that ending sequence where after the whole debacle occurs, and we get he's back in the Arboretum, I'll call it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that current time? Did he get that in the past, or it's supposed to be current time based on events that are going to happen in the next few stories?
I'm thinking it's current time in whatever alternate blank that Q dropped him in.
I can
say because they spoiled it in trailers.
Okay.
Yeah, the exact specifics of when and where he is, I'm not sure they actually properly established that in the episode.
And
I mean, because they show us pictures of several places and several things, and we know that some of the pictures are of what is by real world standards near future, and some of them are far future, but hard to be sure which is which.
Well,
in some cases,
it's got to be. It can't be the time that he's being sent back to, because they've got a synth there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
that's just the short
one of the
scene.
shots,
that's not the montage of other stuff.
It definitely feels like an alternate version of Picard's present.
Okay, so maybe it is the alternate universe. Obviously, it's the alternate universe, but he's been put back in that time frame for Q to experiment with him. Very much like Q would do.
Well, I mean, one of the things that they established is that somehow, due to a change in the timeline, the past got rewritten, as is the want of most time travel stories. And in this particular case, it seems that Earth didn't become the civilization that would later become a member of the Federation somehow, and possibly had unnatural technological development.
Yeah, a Big Door points out the line from Q was, "This is penance." So, yeah.
So,
and he also says the end of the road less traveled, which is I'm racking my brain to try to figure out what the hell that could mean.
Well, I mean, there's the obvious version.
That's definitely a reference to something that happened in TNG.
You think?
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly what. But,
yeah, now we're going to all have to go back and analyze that one. Okay.
Oh, crap.
What?
That episode where... Well, okay. It would only be one of the Q episodes, but Road Less Traveled or Not Traveled or whatever. That was some part of the final episode of TNG, I think.
Yeah, but where they,
remember that Q makes that comment, explicitly stating the trial never ends.
Well, yeah, exactly. But it wouldn't be that timeline divergence because that goes back and prevents humanity from developing at all. In fact, prevents time from developing at all.
But it had multiple levels of temporal screwery.
Yeah, good terminology.
Because of the fact that
temporal shenanigans.
One of the key aspects of that was how, shall we say, reckless and adventurous Picard was as a cadet.
Oh, in Tapestry, yeah. But that only takes him back to his youth, not all the way back to this point. And this is taking it back...
Yeah, I know.
Times Arrow? I mean, that's the one time we go way back in Earth history with
yeah, but
TNG.
That's not a Q episode.
I know it's not a Q episode, but they could all be Q episodes for all we know.
Yeah, all the time travel episodes could be Q.
I mean, this is a good point because it actually got...
Not everything is Q.
Well, not
how do we know?
It actually got revealed in director's commentary that 2 of the episodes of TNG that had particularly convoluted, confusing plots were actually originally written as Q screwing with Picard.
Yeah, well, I totally believe that.
Like Time Squared, where the Enterprise D gets trapped in some sort of temporal vortex, where Picard has to kill his future self in order to escape the vortex. That was originally written as a Q prank.
It probably should have remained as a Q prank. It wasn't one of the better episodes. Hey, I just went back to look up the poem, and so what was Q's line at the end? This is the end of the road less traveled?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. But the line in the poem is, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So if this is the end of the road less traveled, but the road less traveled was the one that Picard chose, it's...
I have to contend with that, mostly because, well, I've written about that particular poet considerably, and that's not what the poem is about at all. It's about getting to the same place no matter what road you take, but learning a great deal along the way.
No matter what direction you walk, the destination is the same.
No matter where you go, there you are.
Yep.
That is directly from the author.
There are many paths to the
top of the mountain, but when we get there, yeah, we use that line all the time in martial arts. Good morning, Swear. We're not early. We're really late. We've been up for the last couple hours watching Picard.
I loved it.
In 2.5 hours, I will have been up for 24.
Yeah, and then you're going to go get some sleep, I hope.
Or die, one of the two.
Actually, if I'm going to keep my sleep schedule, I'm going to have to push all the way through till Thursday, till tonight. It's all right. I got coffee and energy drinks and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, psychotic breakdown. Here we go.
Yeah. That doesn't hit until about 98 hours of being awake.
Well, I mean,
it depends on one's psyche. It depends on one's psyche.
And the level of stress that you built up over time.
Well, yes. Like that's your all's response, and not the how do you know that?
Yeah, we're all like, yeah, no, that's about right.
Yeah,
been there.
Yeah, sure. That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I think 104 hours is my record being awake.
Oof. No.
But I haven't done that in years and years and
Nope,
years.
I quit.
Yeah, I did enough of those 24-hour marathon streams for the fleet parties, and from 1 to 4, I'm the only one awake and on the stream, and I'm not doing that again. Thank goodness Frost came in and saved me twice, so thank you, Frost.
If you ever do something like that again and you need somebody to tune in late at night, you let me know.
We will work that out, yeah.
You just give me a little bit of warning, I'll be there.
Same.
I've actually discovered the hard way that I'm one of those people who really can't just stay up for several days on end. It doesn't work for me.
No.
I'm one of those people where if I try it, I will literally fall asleep standing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I found out I will look at people and say, I'm taking a nap, or I'm going to rip your head off, and I'm not kidding.
Yeah. About hour 26 or 27, having done it a couple of times, I'm not good.
I mean, I've had incidents where it's not even like a huge amount of sleep deprivation. I would get to the point where I would either I'm genuinely not sure whether I was actually hallucinating or if I was dreaming without actually falling asleep properly first. I'm really not sure.
Okay, if you're that is a hallucination. That's what I was thinking. What's the difference between the two? One you're asleep, one you're awake, and think you're asleep.
Well, see, I in the end, I'm not actually properly awake. It's just like this thing
then
where
you're hallucinating.
I start dreaming before I actually finish falling asleep. I don't know.
I want to jump back to something that Big Door put here, saying, "Is this our TNG Mirrorverse episode finally?"
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes.
It has aspects of that because of the fact that they talk about how the past went wrong. And they talk about how the past is now some sort of corrupt dictatorship.
Mm-hmm.
It's a total. I saw Terran iconography.
Did you?
Exactly. It's like there was something that looked like a very, very like art house version of real world imitations of the Terran logos that you see in Star Trek Online.
So this leads to my thought that we really need to have, when we're done with this whole Mirrorverse arc that's being developed in Star Trek Online, I think it needs to culminate with being Emperor Picard.
I think we may have something like that, but my thing is, in Discovery, the Terrans had the yellow war paint. In Picard, that's the red Terran.
See, my thought on that is that it's basically like the personal crest of the current reigning emperor, which changes as often as the emperor changes. So, are you really going to expect the same emperor to reign for 100 years?
Well, we've established, historically, what would be the longest reigns? Probably in the Egyptian. Was it
honestly of the
No, I meant for a single monarch.
Genghis Khan was actually one of the top ones.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Shockingly enough,
he didn't live
Queen
that
Victoria.
long, did he?
Queen Vicky.
Queen Vicky. Yeah, but she didn't become queen until her 18-year-old, 20-year-old, something like that. So that was around.
But she is now the current. But she is currently now the longest reigning monarch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In this century.
I mean,
in this century is only 22 years.
Monarch.
I mean, in the case of Genghis Khan, whether you want to call him a king or not is a matter of semantics.
No! That man was an emperor.
Yeah, I've got no problem.
Man was an emperor.
I've got no problems with considering Khan to be a.
He was definitely a ruler of some sort, and he had a whole lot of terrain.
He was a force of nature.
Yeah, but he was only 65 when he died. Relatively young.
The longest reigning monarch in our current history is, I'm going to butcher this name. I'm going to paste it in chat so I don't butcher this name because I don't like butchering names.
Okay.
Length of reign, 82 years.
Wow.
Where?
Let's see.
From December 1889 to 21st of August 1982.
Swaziland now Eswatini is what it looks like it says.
It's an independent country in South Africa. I know what you're talking about.
So in 1899, the current king of Swaziland died at the age of 23. He was succeeded by his 4-month-old son, who would be given the royal name that I posted in chat, and would continue to reign until his death in August 1982.
That was a long time, yes.
Okay, looking at this one here in Wiki, it's saying it was Louis XIV with a 72-year reign, almost 72 and a third.
Yeah, he's number 2 on the list I looked up.
Okay.
And
then Elizabeth II is at 70 years, so if she hangs on a little bit longer.
Okay, so this one says 69 and counting, with Elizabeth II at number 5.
Yeah.
At any rate, though, like discussing the Terrans.
Yeah, how do we get off to?
Sorry, longest reigning emperor.
It's possible that you have Terrans who use some sort of like super science technology to enhance their lifespan artificially.
Yeah,
like we know
in the Terran Empire from the eugenics. So aren't they genetically optimized?
Oh.
That's actually one of the things that I don't think ever got addressed in the TV series. It may have gotten addressed in novels, but I don't think the TV series actually covered that.
The TV series didn't deal with it in depth very much.
Because
I mean, the only place we really got in depth with the eugenics was in was it Enterprise?
Yeah.
And
it was mentioned in one episode of TOS. One.
Yeah. That was in...
And a TOS movie that was a direct follow-up to that, but didn't really talk about it in as much detail as the original episode did.
Yeah, but again, they didn't go into that level of detail. So Big Door points out, with the Terrans, it's very much might makes right. The moment Picard couldn't physically hold the throne, he'd be dethroned. Well, or he and his troops held the throne. Would be my one
comment. Yeah,
comment.
People loyal to him as long as he's got somebody to watch his back.
This is true. He could have been sheltered long enough to get a genetic enhancement.
Mm-hmm. I mean, working on that theory.
Also, there's the idea that the Terrans may have actually, acquired Borg technology for some things.
Wow.
We know that the Terrans have a habit of stealing technology from, and also in Stowe, if you pay close attention, Mirror Janeway, the Marshal, is a Borg drone.
You're right.
She has implants. She has 7's implants.
Yeah. I have to head out. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Okay, take care, Frost.
Later, Frost. But yes, Mirror Janeway has the 7 of 9 implants. Because
are they actually 7 of 9's implants, or are they her own implants that simply use similar aesthetics?
Yes,
they are very close aesthetically wise. Like
there is no Mirror 7.
Yeah.
But again, though, is that
so Janeway got implanted?
Well, the question I was asking is whether she actually stole them from someone and implanted them into herself or not. Because one thing we know from Voyager is that Janeway actually got assimilated twice.
This is true. I'm not going to argue that, but as far as the Mirror 7 goes, I'm going to say there is no Mirror 7. There's only Mirror Janeway, and she is as deeply implanted as our Prime 7.
Yeah.
Perhaps. I'm not sure how much detail they went into with that, because there's a very short list of characters they went into.
Well, the only reason I say that about 7 is because going off what I've seen in Picard, Annika's parents were never out that far, so she never got assimilated for her birthday. And then,
for her birthday.
yep, I went there.
Yeah.
I mean, that there is actually a valid point to be made with that one because of the fact that that plot when you pay close attention to the details of how Seven and Nine got assimilated is like, oh, okay, yeah, that totally happened.
But wasn't Seven a child when she was?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Her 6th birthday.
Yeah, right.
That was assimilated.
For her birthday, she got a present from the Borg. It's called assimilation.
The gift of assimilation, please. Yes.
Well. That's actually one of those things that I was kind of alluding to earlier when I made that comment about the state of Federation medical technology in Picard. Is they've kind of sort of hinted that Borg technology actually has the ability to make you functionally immortal.
Yeah, I don't think it's been subtle, but yeah, it's been there.
In terms of being just like it's like, okay, you're just not going to age like a normal person, so you're functionally going to live forever because you're not aging.
Well, I mean, look at Hugh. From his episode in TNG to now, he's got the stress wear and tear, but he doesn't look like he's aged too terribly bad.
Ooh,
yeah, exactly.
Not at all.
Right.
To be honest, though, this logic actually have one of my characters in Star Trek Online, Imani.
Mm-hmm.
You may notice that she has a fondness for wearing TOS Romulan outfits.
Yes.
The idea I had is that she's actually something like 200 years old.
Yeah. Well, the joy of writing your own backstories. Yeah, if you want to do that, you can do that.
And it's because of the fact that like the Borg cybernetics keep her from aging. I mean, also as a Romulan, she's kind of sort of going to live longer than a human anyways, but not that long.
Right. Well, didn't we kind of touch on Romulan longevity in the opening of the Picard episode?
I think they did vaguely mention it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it's one of those things that's like, this is
Yes, but no.
Well, Romulan longevity is basically the same longevity as Vulcans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're technically the same species.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Depends on what part of Romulus you're from. North or south.
True.
Let's see. Lexer says, wasn't Sarek around 400 years when he died? No, he was around 200, wasn't he?
Sarek was around 250, maybe 3.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think he was that old.
I mean, but again, it's like him being like 250 years old. Sarek was, the like old man who can barely stand up kind of Vulcan.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was elderly and frail because he was near the end of his life.
Right.
He was well seasoned, sir. Well seasoned.
Yeah,
Let's see.
exactly.
He was 203 when he died.
Okay.
Okay, so somewhere around the 200 mark.
Yeah, they had
Not
mentioned
bad.
that a couple of times in TOS that the lifespan of a Vulcan was around 200 years.
And also in TNG, they established that with Federation medical technology, it is possible for humans to remain reasonably agile at over 100 years old.
Oh yeah. Encounter at Farpoint. Bones was what, 140?
130, I think.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say 135 and not a day more.
But he was obviously not feeling as young as he used to.
Well, of course, if you were that old, wouldn't you? Come on, man.
And you also have to...
Hold on one sec, guys. Big Door, if you need to post a link, just send it to me as a whisper, and I'll put it up there for you. And hi, Grumpy, how are you? Okay, back to the convo. 202, yeah.
I really wish there was a way to undo the message deleted by a moderator thing.
Yeah. Probably could talk to Pi about seeing what we can do.
Anyways.
Oh, well, you're welcome to post links. You're welcome to share links with me, and I'm happy to post them for you.
Oh, yeah. Also, so sometimes if you format text badly, it will think it's a link, even though it's really a typo.
Yeah.
Like putting periods instead of spaces will make it spaz out like insane.
It's a bot.
Okay, I'll remember that. Duly noted. Don't type while high. Gotcha.
Oh, I better stop typing then.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
No, I'm all right tonight.
I still write quite a bit, and every now and then I would have a few adult beverages before going in for a nighttime session, and then get up the next morning and go, oh my God, that's all crap, and just delete it.
That's all crap.
Exactly.
Anyways, though, we don't actually know the names of most of the Terran emperors. There has never been a list of emperors ever published in any canon work.
Do we have canonical emperors?
There have been a few that were named, but only the current one or the recently deposed one actually got named specifically.
Grumpy says Sato and Giorgio.
Hoshi Sato used the USS Defiant as her command ship. And since it was, TOS technology in the Enterprise era, it was basically, it's like, I have the biggest guns. Bounce me or I will use them on you.
Okay, I don't see anything wrong with that. That's Terran diplomacy. Right there.
Exactly. And that's how Hoshi Sato became Empress.
Well, that's my kind of diplomacy. Hello, Emperor. How are you doing?
Well, my alarm just went off. It's apparently time for me to get up and out of bed, so.
Well, you're ahead of schedule.
I am. Yeah, the alarm going off at 2 so I could, set up everything. It's just like, no.
So we're going to run ISE, right?
Oh, apparently.
Ooh, right. We were going to do a Hive Ground Elite, weren't we?
Maybe?
Okay,
I
so
really
apparently Mirror Universe Spock was Emperor at one point.
Was he?
Yep.
So,
Right. I think the DS9 episode about the Mirror Universe established that Spock did become Emperor. And that part of the reason why the Klingon-Cardassian alliance was a thing was because it was a reaction to Spock's attempts at aggressive diplomacy and them trying to counterplay him or something like that. But yeah,
Emperor Spock.
But see, because here's the thing: is that
Leonard
the ending
Nimoy with
of
a goatee? That was hot.
the ending of the original episode, Spock gained control of the Tantalus device that Kirk had been using to kill off people who were threats to him, and Spock used that to become Emperor.
Right, but Grumpy and Jim both point out he didn't become Emperor. He became Emperor, but he destroyed the Empire.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying about the Klingon-Cardassian alliance is that as of DS9, the Klingon-Cardassian alliance had basically told the Terran Empire where to stick their phasers. Because part of the reason why the Cisco recreated the Defiant as the one we see in Deep Space Nine, using Terran Empire technology, was because of the fact that he wanted a ship that he could use to fight the Klingon-Cardassian alliance and Regent Worf.
Lexer says, Mira Nerys says Mira Spock led a pacifist movement that led to the downfall of the Empire. That he was assassinated that year by Spock, who seized control. Okay, so Captain James T. Kirk aspired to reach the position of Emperor. That's Mirror Kirk. He was assassinated that year by Spock, who seized control of the Tantalus field and used a combination of targeted assassinations and diplomacy, nice combination, to amass sufficient support within Starfleet to assume the position of Grand Admiral. Empress Sato III personally invited him to the Imperial Palace in Okinawa, where she intended to murder him. Instead, Spock, with the aid of Savik, assassinated Sato and assumed the throne himself, the first non-Terran to rule the Terran Empire. That's from Mirror Universe novel, Sorrows of Empire. And depending on how much we take novels as being canon, which I kind of think we kind of sort of do.
In this entry on Memory Beta, they quote, like in the very same section, because I had to break it up because 500 character limit, they do quote a couple of episodes. So, yeah, the book fills in, but it also fills in to some canon episodes. So that's why I put it up there. It's like, yeah, I think he made it to Emperor. I just don't think we heard the reference on screen.
Yeah, well, Nerys saying that Mir Spock led a pacifist movement sounds a lot better than the Emperor decided to destroy the Empire.
Well, the way I remember it, Spock's reign as Emperor was considered to be exceptionally weak by Terran standards, and
that makes
led
sense.
to policies that didn't work out well for the Empire and caused it to end up getting fractured and what have you, and the Klingon-Cardassian alliance becoming the greatest power in the local space.
But that actually makes sense.
This is the next paragraph.
Spock was the last of the Terran emperors. He initiated a series of liberal reforms that greatly diminished the emperor's power, and in 2293, he abolished the position of the emperor and the empire itself, installing himself as the first consul of the Terran Republic. But the thing is, if you don't have a society that's ready for a republic, you can't just eliminate the empire. We all know how well that goes.
Well, also, I wasn't talking about that book. I was trying to remember what they said about him in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. Well, also, that's 30 years after he took the throne. So that's over, I guess, over a course of 30 years, which I guess is okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because this is a single paragraph summary of what was apparently decades of history. So
yeah, right. It's like write a one-page report on the history of the United States. Well, yeah, unless you're doing it in like 0.2 font, it's not going to work out very well.
Or you go get a giant sheet of paper.
Oh, yeah, that would be it too.
I had a teacher in high school. It's like, I don't mind if you bring a cheat sheet, but it can only be half the size of a normal sheet of notebook paper.
Ah, clever.
And it can only be one side.
Ooh.
So I took my half a sheet, taped it into Mobius strip, and printed my notes out in 2-point font and brought a tiny little magnifying glass with my class. He was so mad.
For all the work you had to do for that, you might as well have just studied longer.
To be honest,
it took me 2 hours.
As a
put everything on there.
As a teenager, I actually figured out how to take standard ruled notebook paper and write 3 lines of text per line.
I could do 2 lines of text on college ruled in cursive.
Wow. This isn't humble bragging or anything. I just memorized all of it because it was a pain in the butt to write it. As Kirk predicted, Spock later on became the captain of the Enterprise. Spock used the ship as a power base to accumulate influence and eventually rose to become commander-in-chief of the Terran Empire. He instituted major reforms, turning the Empire into a more peaceful and less aggressive power. But if we're talking about mirror universes, that means we're talking about multiverses. And if you've got one mirror universe, that doesn't mean we can't have a second mirror universe, right?
Well, here's a fun thing. How many alternate universe plots did they do in the original series?
6.
In the original series, we had Mirror Mirror for
and
alternate.
The Tholian Web. There's the only 2 mirror.
How is Tholian Web mirror universe?
Actually,
USS Defiant is trapped in an interphase. Floating space and vanishes.
The Tholian Web episode was retconned to be connected to the mirror universe in Enterprise. It wasn't actually that way in the original series.
Okay, so they just used the interdimensional instability, but it wasn't specifically related to it?
Right.
Okay.
But its connection to the mirror universe was established retroactively by the Star Trek Enterprise episode In a Mirror Darkly.
Wait, are you talking about TOS or TNG?
TOS.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Disregard whatever I said. I was thinking TNG. I'm sorry.
And anyways, though, is that where this ends up getting complicated? Well, I mean, more so, is that TOS had multiple episodes that were not directly, well, actually, were just like explicitly not the mirror universe, but were alternate universes that were different from the mirror universe somehow.
Like what? Which episodes?
The Lazarus Effect.
Oh God, yeah, I'd forgotten about that one.
It's like there's like an alternate antimatter version of everyone.
Right, so that kind of does get into, because obviously you can't have matter and antimatter. So, but yeah, but that was interesting in that they had a distinct corridor between the two.
Yeah, but that's like a different phase space than a dimension.
Yeah, but I could see that they were playing with the concept. That was season 1, right?
It explicitly had a second copy of all of the same people as the Prime Universe, but with somewhat different personalities. And that was explicitly stated to be what made it different, is that because it's an antimatter universe, certain things are just opposite.
Well, yeah.
Or something.
But if it's a matter to an antimatter universe, that's a different phase space altogether.
Well, but anyways, the whole reason I mentioned it is that it was a different version of parallel universe than mirror.
So it sounds like they were experimenting with the concept of multiple universes and hadn't really fleshed it out and just went, well, if there's this, there's got to be an anti-this.
Well, I mean, because like in one of the animated series episodes, they go into what's apparently a different antimatter universe where the concept of causality doesn't work the same as it does in the normal universe.
Interesting.
The novel version of it claims that it it was all a dream route, and claims that what they thought they were visiting wasn't actually an alternate universe, but some sort of illusion. I don't know. That was one of those things where the original was weird and the retcon was weirder. Yeah, well, TAS novels are often highly rethought versions of the episode.
That's such a nice way to put that.
I mean, I'm not going to say they're better or worse as a generalization, because, I mean, I don't think all of them were worse or better. It's just different. Because I guess one way to put it is that they were expanded as a whole. And that expansion added things that may or may not have drastically altered it, or may have just added detail to what was already there. Depends on the specific story.
I think my favorite idea around an alternate dimension, and I forget the book it was in. It's one of the few Star Trek books I've read, but I forget the title of it. They explained that fluidic space didn't have different timelines.
That's interesting.
So anything that comes into fluidic space, regardless of time stream or whatever, lands in the same fluidic space. Which is one of the reasons why species, the Undine species 8472, were so dead set on, all right, you all gotta be wiped out. Because we can't fight every little time zone of you guys trying to come in, and especially with the Borg doing it.
Well, Vaughn, fluidic space is its own separate dimension.
Yeah,
right.
fluidic
And that's
space
my
is
favorite way they handled it, because it was very weird to have fluidic space not be connected to different time streams as an alternate dimension.
But
it's fluidic space is more like a permanent point, a fixed. Fluidic space is a fixed point that everything jumps into and out of.
much like in the mycelial realm.
Yes.
So is there an alternate mycelial realm?
No, it's like the Q. They are themselves in every reality.
Like the
Interesting.
Undine are themselves in every reality.
But if we assume that there are an alternate or an infinite number of alternate versions of guys like Picard, wouldn't there also basically end up being an infinite version of infinite number of alternate versions of Picard in fluidic space?
No,
Ooh.
no, because fluidic space is a fixed point. You don't get that. That defeats the purpose of fluidic space being a fixed point.
In theory, several Picards in other universes could all go to fluidic space.
Yes.
At the same time.
At the same
Yes.
Yes, that's when we get the breakdown of walls that we see in parallels.
Yes.
But fluidic space as a fixed point would naturally lead itself to that conclusion.
I'm trying to put the logic together of how you can have fixed points with alternate realities, alternate universes around them.
I want to say that the universe is enough of a great calculator machine that, yes, all of the cards have been to fluidic space, but not all of the cards have been there all at the same time.
Yeah, well, that makes sense, yeah.
There you go.
Think of our reality, or the Terran reality, or even the Kelvin as the surface, and fluidic is our mantle. The mantle never changes because it's fluidic.
Right.
Then we're basically riding on the fluidic and mycelial realms like a soap bubble.
Tectonic plate type stuff, yeah.
Well, actually, the bubble reference makes a lot of sense more than my thinking of how the plates float on it, because the plates interrelate to one another. But with a bubble, you could have a fixed exterior where they don't interrelate, and if you were to have them touch, that bubble becomes a different bubble or completely is destroyed.
Yep.
What's inside the bubble is always
the bubble. Part of the weirdness here, though, is as it's a non-parallelism, which creates like one side you have many, on one side you have only one. So if the many ever attempt to interact with the one, they kind of overlap each other.
Yeah. Jumping back, though, if all these parallel universes exist where we've got basically the same level of development, i.e. we've got DS9 and Mirror DS9 where we have similar people with a similar, not identical, timeline, they had to have fractured from a base point where they were the same, because we know... Lexars, go get some sleep. No worries about that. Actually, I'm going to have to go get ready for work so I can come back and do the morning live stream in a few minutes here. But so for everything to have diverged, there had to be a commonality at one point, and knowing how things continue to break apart and apart as they move out, that means that timeline point of origination cannot have been that far back.
Yeah.
Big Door says Mirror Universe comes from First Contact. Really?
Yeah, in Enterprise, we see that the Terrans rise up when Zephyr Cochrane blows away a Vulcan.
Yep.
In the Enterprise version of First Contact between humans and Vulcans, the humans killed the Vulcans and stole their technology.
Right, I get that, but there's an inherent difference in those humans and the humans that we see in First Contact. So there had to have been a fracture a little bit before that to send some of them off this way and some off that way.
One thing that someone pointed out a long time ago, and I'm not sure if it's actually canonical, but it logically makes sense, is that the thing that is the divergence point is that in the Terran Empire, the Roman Empire never collapsed and eventually became a, world power akin to what the United Nations does in the real world.
Yeah, but you'd think that timeline going back is something that in essence happened 2,000 years ago. There's a lot of time for
World War III. There was a Roman-esque military ship that came to power out of World War III. I think it was funny.
Von Marcus, if we're going to do this again, I will change it up and I will create one like that. But at 2 in the morning, it was hard enough trying to figure out how I'm going to listen to Picard.
Well, I figured I'd mention it so it's in your head. Because, like, I'm hearing the reaction in your voice, but you're so tiny in the corner of the window, I can't see any facial reactions.
I'm a teeny tiny mom. Plus, I've only got an overhead light, and it's very bright, so...
Well, it also doesn't help you're not on my main screen.
Well, I should always be on your main screen.
Hey, you're monopolizing one of my 3 screens. I can only make you so big because the flanking monitors are set in portrait mode instead of landscape, so the windows are bunched in the middle.
Yes, well, I have, providing I don't take this new job, I've got my 2 new computers here, and my 2 new desks, and I will have the ability to either do 3 monitors, or I will do the 4 monitors like we've got. Work with 2 down, 2 up, and I can, pretend I'm on the bridge again.
I've got 3 32-inch, and I found that 1 in landscape and the other 2 flanking it in portrait.
Mm-hmm.
Width-wise, it only takes up slightly more space than 2 27-inch monitors next to each other.
It cheats.
It definitely saves on desk space.
I've got a 37 and a 32.
Oh, you got a 37-inch.
Yeah, I bought myself a 37 a couple of years ago. It's old, though, technology-wise.
Well, I'd like to get a bigger center monitor, but I can't do that until I get the graphics card I need for this system.
Yeah, there is that. Oh, yeah, Jim, I've got 2 TVs as monitors, too.
I don't want to brag.
Yeah, but
you're gonna.
Yeah.
I've got a Samsung Odyssey G9.
Yeah, go ahead and brag. We're all going to be jealous about that one.
49 inches of
awesome.
4K goodness.
49 inches of awesome.
Yeah, running off of a RTX 3070.
Oh, nice.
It's curved for his pleasure.
One of the things that I like about modern
That's
TV...
what I said when I got my monitors.
One of the things I like about
curved monitors.
One of the things I like about modern TV technology is the fact that people realized, oh, wait, you know what? The idea of people using these as computer monitors is a given. So we should just, build in functions to make that easy.
Mm-hmm. Well, this one over here is this is my TV. No, I have 2 of my monitors are actually old TVs that my son has worn through, and so there's pixels missing. But boy, can you tell the difference in the quality from an old TV that's been repurposed as a monitor to a monitor that's intended as a monitor.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, because I'm currently using a large flat panel TV as a monitor, but it's a flat panel TV that has an HDMI port on the back of it.
Yeah. Yep. As they do these days.
My girlfriend's monitor or my girlfriend's computer, but for whatever reason, we can't get the aspect ratio to match.
Yeah, I had that issue.
She's got the last inch or so on the right, where it shows you time and all those little important icons.
Yeah,
is off the TV.
Yeah, it's the same on the one I've got in my bedroom. So
yeah. Mine actually has that issue too. If you look at the screenshots I post, a lot of them will have the UI for Star Trek Online moved inward about a half inch because of that reason.
Yeah, it got so annoying when I had it out here as a monitor that it just became the default one in the bedroom where I don't particularly care if I can't see the time, except at those moments when something stupid happens, like I'm watching Riff Tracks and it needs to be updated. Then you have to get up and you have to go over and do it off the laptop because you can't see any of the controls on the bottom because they're gone.
Yeah.
Well, folks, I'm going to go jump into the shower so I can get ready for work. I'm going to be back in about 40 minutes with Ed to do Pinky and the Brain.
Ooh.
So we will be back.
All right.
I think. Oh, see you later.
All right, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining us for our Picard watch party. Next week, I don't know if we're going to do this on Wednesday or if we might do it on Friday so that everybody out in Europe can see it too. So I will talk with Pi and Ed and see how we want to handle that. So maybe we can do a chat and then we'll do a watch party with them, or maybe we'll do 2 watch parties because it's only 10 weeks and I can hold off sleeping for 10 weeks.
Well, it's only once a week, so.
Right, I know. Well, yeah, but if I do it twice a week, so that'd be 2 nights a week where I'm not sleeping.
Yeah, if you are doing it 2 nights a week.
But if one of those nights is before a day you weren't going to be working.
Oh no, I always.
You'll be okay. You'll be okay.
I'm like Picard. I don't have those days when I'm not working. I'm always doing something. Got to work on that part. Got to work on that. And I don't have a guy in to go drink with.
What my high school coach told me one time: rub some dirt on it, and you'll be okay.
Quite so. Hey, did you notice? Picard goes drinking. Guinan goes drinking. What's her name? Agnes goes drinking. 1, they don't change their clothes afterward. Blah. And 2, they don't have hangovers. We definitely need to move into the future.
Well, that's one of the things that they mentioned, and I think it was TNG, is that most of the beverages that they serve in the Federation don't have real alcohol in them.
Well, what's the point? What is the point of drinking hooch if you do not have alcohol?
No, Beverly always had that pill that she took before they went drinking Aldebaran and brandy.
Yeah.
There's that too.
Yeah, doesn't somebody give themselves a hypo so they can drink the poisonous alcohol? What's her name? Pulaski.
The Klingon tea.
Yeah, Pulaski. So yeah, maybe they just we'll feel the effects, but we won't have a hangover. And Agnes is clearly drunk when she's playing around on the ship.
Yes.
So lots of fun. All right, everyone. Have a great day. If I see you in the next 45 minutes for Pinky and the Brain, great. I don't know if I'll be awake to do a show tonight, so we will see. But DT might be. He's off today. All right. Thank you all. Appreciate you being here. So long.
See you soon.
Farewell. Now I have to. Yeah, we got to get that song together here. All right, everybody.
Is that your next Klingon song?
I still haven't done the last Klingon song. If Klingon Pop Warrior is going to be in Chicago, and I know she lives there, I'm going to see if she might want to stop by the booth and make a duet out of it.
Well, that'd be nice.
That'd be really cool because she can actually sing. And she can sing in Klingon.
That's this summer, isn't it?
Pardon?
That's this summer, isn't it?
No, it's in It's in 5 weeks, and I am not ready.
Oh, it's in 5 weeks?
5 weeks from today. 5 weeks from today, I will be doing the morning show, getting in the car, and heading up to Chicago. And Frost is going to be joining us in Chicago.
Oh, man, I was really hoping to go to that this year. But I can't because my father's 60th birthday is in May, and I have to be able to afford to fly down to Florida.
Definitely go do that one. Okay, Master Dude has seen the episode.
I'll see you in Florida, Vaughn, and I have to work.
What part of Florida? Because I'm going to Clearwater.
Tampa.
You're not too far.
Hey, once we get done with the whole COVID thing, maybe we can, figure out a way for everybody to go hang out someplace every now and then.
That would be cool.
That would be way cool.
Stowe meets.
Yeah, Stowe meets. I love it.
Of course, the real question there is so which part of the world do you live in?
Hey,
right.
Just to put this in perspective, I've actually flown and traveled to Ireland to meet Beardy. I have traveled to New York to meet another person. I traveled to Vegas to meet Farnsworth. I'm going to go to Germany hopefully next year to meet Ed, and then to Denmark to meet Pi. So I don't mind traveling.
I've been to a lot of places, but mostly for work reasons.
Well, yeah, I just throw in the going to visit people. Okay, I had to go to Germany, so I threw in an extra week to go visit Beardy and meet him.
Business and pleasure. It's
Absolutely.
Okay. You gotta live internationally, man. You gotta live internationally. Business and
I've
pleasure.
only been outside the country illegally.
You poor thing.
I had to travel for
and it was
work.
into Canada.
Let's not do that.
I have illegally outside the country, and I went to Canada, of all places.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
I know, right?
Doesn't count.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say is
that's like going to Mexico. That doesn't count.
It used to be that the Canadians didn't care if you visited their country illegally.
Well, you're Americans. We can throw you right back in America. It doesn't count.
Oh, they had no
It's like a
clue I was
Canadian
there.
crossing the border, man. It's like in New York. Canadians cross the border all the time. It doesn't count.
Well, I mean, if you actually stop by the Border Patrol thing, they just ask you to show them a photo ID and then wave you through. So,
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I just like to cross the border.
I have to go jump in the shower. So
Go,
I will.
Mom, go.
I'm going. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Okay.